I was born and raised in one of the most notoriously abusive cults in modern day history. I survived over 20 years of cult abuse and trafficking, and here's why I fight for children now. Here's the truth. Adults make choices, and there are consequences to those choices, and good people get hurt by good people making bad choices all the time. Children don't have the luxury of choice. They don't get to consent or choose. However, they can still be the victim of someone else's choice. They don't choose the environments they're born into or the hands they're entrusted into. And they're generally unable to defend themselves. Children generally cannot advocate for themselves, and they generally cannot outsmart or overpower a predatory adult. In my opinion, children are the only real victims. I said what I said. That's why I fight for children. I'm not saying no one else needs help. I'm saying children deserve our protection. If we can't protect children, what are we? Now, I've seen way too much that I can't unsee, and today I see things that are even worse. And I see too many good people willing to do nothing. I see too many cowards that are willing to let fear hold them back, to let fear be an excuse as to why they won't advocate for, protect, or defend the real innocent children. I'm not saying no one else is innocent. I'm saying children are objectively innocent. I'm saying if we can't defend them, if we are unwilling to speak up and defend them, what are we? I'm also saying adults have a choice and children do not. Adults can choose to do something kooky with their life. They can choose to join a cult and stay in the cult and perpetuate those beliefs, and they can choose to have children in the cult. Those children were never allowed to choose. It was not their choice to join or to stay, and it was not their choice to be programmed. It was not their choice to be exploited. Adults, even though there are many who are victims to bad things and circumstances and people, adults have the freedom of choice that children do not have. Now, as a society, when we advocate for the innocent, when we talk about changing laws and doing things to help protect and safeguard the innocent, I don't see a lot of people prioritizing child safety. You could ask yourself why, but unfortunately it's a rhetorical question. The answer is there's no money in protecting children. Evaluate society today. There's no money in protecting children, and that's the answer to most rhetorical questions. I'm also going to unpack how big of an industry. It's disgusting, but child exploitation is the fastest growing criminal enterprise on this planet. It's the second largest. It's the fastest growing. It has a faster growth rate than drugs and arms and other illegal things. Child sex trafficking in the United States generates over $70 billion every single year. Child sex abuse material is rampant all over the internet. So when I see advocacy groups and activists making loud noises, but when they're not in the direction of protecting children, who in my opinion are the real innocent, I tend to question their motives. When I see politicians making drug trafficking a way to get votes and support, but they're not talking about children being trafficked, I definitely question their morals, but at this point it's a rhetorical question. I see people who are supposed to have access to the power of God throwing thoughts and prayers at things that they should be taking action towards. Now, I may be wrong here, but I feel like all of us have a responsibility, and none of us have an excuse not to do something to protect children. If people truly don't know where to start, I'm asking you to start in your communities, in your homes, on your street. I know for sure there are kids there who need you, and I'm asking you to choose one thing you can do in the next week. I'm asking you not to do nothing. Every single day, I work with survivors of child trafficking. I work with children and their families who have been through the unimaginable. And the society is not set up to support these people. There are not enough infrastructures in place to provide the resources and aftercare that these kids need. Protecting children should be the one thing that unites us all. In my opinion, we have no excuse to turn a blind eye to this. This is the hill that we unite on. Change my mind.